Hello, guys, and welcome to another week, another day, another new block party trading live stream. This is where we take a look at some live trading and mix between both scalps and swing trades, a bit of a review on what trades we've taken today, and also along with analysis, Bitcoin and some other kind of prominent coins. And I think, the construction work outside knows exactly when I'm going to start live streaming because that's when it'll turn on all of the heavy duty machinery. But that's why God invented double glazing. Block it out. So let's do what we're going to cover today, obviously, is a recap on some of the trades that we've been doing. We'll jump into any live scalps as well. Do want to cover some of the Binance FUD, not too in depth, because I'm sure that you've seen probably quite a lot on it recently through articles and possibly other YouTube videos. So we won't absorb too much of the actual session today. We're talking about the news. I'm pretty sure, like as per the actual title, it's probably not what you're here for. You're here for the trades and the analysis, which is absolutely fine. However, I do feel like this is worth just shining a light on that happened over the weekend. As you can see in the background here, Julio Marino. He's basically a crypto quant guy, as you can see just here by the little logo and blue tick. There we go. Highlight him. Head of research. I'd give him a follow. Does some pretty good analysis, to be honest. But there's a lot of FUD over the weekend with seeing movement of about $4.4 billion in Bitcoin, which is actually about 117,000 coins, 157,000 coins, which is a lot, I think it's like the biggest transaction ever, which is obviously going to turn quite a few heads. However, what a lot of people didn't know, it was actually a Binance wallet to an internal Binance wallet. So a new wallet that was set up. Let's just expand this a little bit so you can see it. Ultimately, there was actually not really anything to worry about in terms of, massive dumps or anything like that. Well, there was a dump in the end, obviously, but it was kind of like misconstrued, and it's happened a few times before. It happens often with like Coinbase as well, where they do internal transfers. But the actual outflows, as you can see just here, was little over 10,000 Bitcoin, which is not really anything to turn your head at. So all in all, it was just a bit of FUD. But what it did kind of spike a bit of interest around was, why are Binance doing it? Do they actually have enough to cover all of the reserves? So this is starting a whole new kind of Binance FUD train. But ultimately, it is worth keeping your eye on just in case, because we've been here before, and unfortunately, Binance is the scapegoat for a lot of the Fed. And a lot of the people who just don't like crypto, they will always go and attack Binance. And they've done a pretty good job so far. However, we have no idea what's going on behind closed doors. So like I said, do your own due diligence and try not to keep all of your funds on exchanges or all in one exchange, even for that matter. Me personally, I keep very little large amounts of funds on exchanges. I really only use the funds that I'm trading with and predominantly like scalping with and stuff like that. So it's not very high. The wonderful thing about leverage is it allows you to do that. So use things like leverage for their strengths, not just as a bit of a weekend hustle kind of thing. So let's take a little look at a few of the trades that we've taken today, of which are going a little bit rocky right now. So we've been in this kind of pretty unpredictable, volatile, consolidating, pretty much kind of like the worst kind of trading conditions. However, true to the mantra, like we are just taking every single trade as they come up and letting the statistics and actual signals just work for themselves. So we're not going in them with any particular heavy technical analysis. We're just jumping in them. It does get a little bit much sometimes when you have to start making sure that you are getting the right amounts, exiting the trades, and also the right levels and stuff like that. Especially when you start to juggle around the take profits with the limit orders, it is something to be aware of. It's quite easy to make an error. If you ever are in doubt, you can just stick, especially with MEXC as well, you can just stick to market orders. If you're doing a limit order in, then that's half the battle done, which is great, and that's a 0% fee on that. So with MEXC, like I said, we're still in the world of 0% maker and 0.02% taker, which is great. But let's take a quick analysis on what we've got open and what stop losses we've hit so far. So currently we had today 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades, and I think we're going to be gearing up to another trade pretty shortly. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 longs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And did we take this trade? I think we did take this trade, yes. And we got another short open as well just here. So I just haven't put a little signpost on it. So 7 trades in total, in being 4 longs and 3, 4 shorts. Am I just losing my mind at the moment? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades in total. A lot of trades, 4 longs, 4 shorts. And we've just hit 2 of the stop losses on the longs, which is not ideal because now we've just pumped straight from it. So just on this trade here and this trade here, we just wicked down and took it out, and then it just bounced straight up. So it really is kind of like the worst scenario right now because we're heading straight towards this stop loss for a short, and actually a bunch of stop losses for the shorts, which is not ideal. However, I imagine we will get signified of a long trade coming in soon. But what we desperately don't want is to take out all of these stop losses and then retrace back down again, because we'll end up in a whole world of hurt, and we don't want that. However, this is just the nature of the beast, and it's basically all about hedging at the moment because we're not getting any defined direction right now. You know, as you can see, all of today has just been pretty much within this little range right here. You know, there's not been a whole bunch going on. And even if we track back, you know, we started to do a little bit of a trend here, but nothing major happened. And, you know, we've not really had too much of a defined range at the moment. Here would have been a nice little trading period. But, yeah, like I said, you can see the volume of the signals that increases when we get into these periods. So we've had 8 so far today. You know, there's even 2 back here, so that's 10. And that would actually technically clarify as today as well. So we've had 10 signals today already, which is a huge amount. Whereas, look at how sparse they are and sporadic they are kind of when the market is behaving a little bit. But that's when you slightly get more confirmed signals. But like I said, it is the nature of the beast. You've kind of got to abide by the strategy somewhat, because it's not like any of these have particular conviction behind them. But we'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a long coming up pretty soon, although I hope not. I'd actually quite like it to retrace a lot now. Mainly because we got hit on these 2 long stop losses. And all in all, I mean, my general vibe on Bitcoin right now is actually short-term bearish. And one of the reasons being is just the general analysis that we've had so far. We have actually broken back above the line. So one of my vibes was that I was hoping we're going to come up and bounce and head on back down here, but we've pumped through quite hard. So it does look like we're going to stay in this range, and we just need to continue to hedge our trades. And once it picks the direction, all of our trades that are filled in that direction should take profit. And, you know, at the end of the day, if we take a small loss, we've only had 1 loss so far in all of the sessions that we've been trading. And when I say 1 loss, I mean 1 daily loss, which is a pretty big one, to be honest. Not ideal, but we made it all back the following day, which was great. So yeah, so, you know, I'm not wholehearted. It does. I guess one of the interesting things about what we've got going on at the moment is you do have quite a lot of risk exposure in scenarios like this, as in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60% at the moment. But that's 60% of 100, not of my entire balance. There we go, just because I keep missing that trade there, which seems like a lot, because it is a lot, you know. But it's not like it's not all in one direction. So the reality is we've probably got only 30% in one direction, not the bands, the actual trend direction. Banter, sorry, dad jokes. But yeah, like I said, it is part and parcel at the moment. We are trading with extremely high risk at 10%. For me, that is massive risk. I never ever trade that high if it was going to be my kind of full balance or full allocation, should I say, never be my full balance going into a trading scenario, or really of any capacity. But yeah, I mean, 10% is a lot, but we're also trading with smaller amounts. And what we kind of want to see, it'd be nice to start seeing a bit of a bearish divergence form, but it doesn't look like we're going to do. So yeah, I just seen that kind of natural rejection here. We might end up heading down. I would love to come down and just clip all of these take profits here. As you can see, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then bounce right on back up and go to, I don't know, let's say 28, 30K. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, as we were just talking about the FUD with Binance right now, that's it. It's not necessarily saying that it's actually founded in truth at all. I mean, it's all highly speculative. Everybody has their own conspiracy, again, which is fine. But unfortunately, what we've got to consider is what's the reaction of the general public, traders, institutions going to be. That's the important thing. Do people have faith that it's all fine and all good? So yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we saw a lot of the congestion appear with all the meme coins. It wasn't the best look, I'll be honest, with Pepe going on to Binance. Caused a ton of congestion. And, it was part and parcel for some of these issues, to be honest. But he did release a tweet, saying something along the lines of, we'll see if we can find it. Something along the lines of, yeah, be wary of trading meme coins and stuff like that in regards to Pepe. Maybe replied to it on Binance. Let's see if it's around here anyway. There we go. There we go. Meme coins and all crypto are high risk. Remember, no one is forcing you to buy them. Do your own research. Be responsible for your own actions. With Pepe and Flocky, I mean, he may as well be saying that, yes, I took a ton of money to list these. I mean, yeah, fair, but he runs a business. You've got to remember he's not, whilst he's probably doing an okay job of looking after people's funds as to the best of his ability, he is also running a business. So if people do come to him wanting to offer tons of money, I guess they'll do their own due diligence to some regard. Well, I imagine they have to, kind of thing. It would be a bit dumb not to. That it's not going to be a massive rug pull. Again, can't really guard against that so much. But his whole business model is listing assets and trading assets. So you can't really criticize him for like taking a stance about not listing assets and stuff like that, because it is literally what an exchange is. But yeah, in the same breath as well, you don't have to. So we'll see. Pepe, could it be that? I mean, it's well on its way, isn't it? Be the new SHIB, be new Dogecoin, etc. Yeah, I now no longer listen to reason in crypto. Anything can happen. So yeah, we could 100% see Pepe come like the number 2 market cap asset in the world, easily. But maybe not easily. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch. Number 3. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So what have we got on today? Other than that, we've had a little talk about Binance, and not to quite panic too much, but let it play out. Again, you should be already doing your due diligence and not having all your money on one exchange, even if it is Binance. If you're not, then use this as an opportunity to spread it out a little bit, just so you don't lose everything if it does go worst case scenario. We had a little look at what the existing open trades are right now. I don't see, unless we kind of fly up and start to break some resistances on the CVD, or fly down and then start to go down there, then I don't see us getting any major trades in the near term. So we can jump off that. One of the recent trades that we did look at today was Clay, a short on Clay, because that was looking real nice. So we did some good analysis on that, and we put out a premium trade earlier on, so we can take a little look at that. at 1 o'clock, we've got all of our alerts that will come in. So we'll jump in some of the, we'll do a live trade. I'm guessing one of them, I'm assuming, I obviously can't say right now, I'm assuming one of them will be looking pretty good. But here's some of our analysis on Clay. Just keeping one eye on Bitcoin because it does seem to be pumping up consistently now. There we go. I think that things like that wick really hurt my feelings. And if we wick again here and come down, then I'm going to know that the world is against me. This wick took out this, and we're just pumping up now. So we'll see if we end up hitting this stop loss. It's like the worst case scenario. Yeah, hit that stop loss and that one. Yeah, we are smashing through them. And that one. Oh, painful day. Painful day. Pushing up. Right, come on. Let's get some longs in now. Right, this is where we need to start kind of jumping into it. Right, scalping hat is on. We have a signal forming with that most recent candle just down here. So we're going to take we'll get prepared for a long anyway. We've got 1 minute 45 until this candle closes. Could be quite aggressive, 0.6%. So we'll just put into the calculator, which is 1,667 latest. Where are you, order? There we go. It's got the order in, open order. It's not going to pump through, is it? Long. There's not two in there. Come on, retrace a little bit. Actually, might as well get our take profits in there if we're gonna run on this one. We're just gonna pump on straight up, are we? Be very nice of you to let me miss that trade. Right. Yes, we are already trying to get into this trade. I suppose we can actually push on that. So we tried to go in a bit early, didn't we? So let's move that up to entry. There we go. Trade is now filled. Right, let's get these targets in. Doesn't fill with confidence, saying they're disconnected. It's taken out all of my shorts. Okay, so we've only got this one left. Yeah, I do wish that we could do the separating of orders. That'd be really easy to follow, really nice and easy to track, but unfortunately not at the moment. Scroll down a bit there. So you can actually see what we're doing. I'm glad we got into that trade before we cascade down. Right, stop loss is going in, and we've got this amount BTC that we're going to exit on, get the take profit in there. Right now. And now we flip the market order to limit order. Where are we at? 0.1204. And then what price we're exiting? 27,852. There we go, all set up. Now we just want to see Bitcoin fly up. That's what we're looking for. We currently still have 1, 2, 3 longs open, so we can recoup 30%, which will be nice. But yeah, that little move hurt a lot. But it happens, you know? It happens. This is trading. It's not, you know, we'd all be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It happens. I think actually we took, already taken 2 profits. Oh no, we would have done, because obviously we hit this. See, that's such a shame, isn't it? Just that little wick there. If I'd have just been slightly more, if I'd have gone to, I don't know, say if I'd have chosen this here or this here, then that would have been nice. And then we could have stayed in the trade. Yeah, right now we're getting a rejection, which is not what we want to see. And all sorts of errors popping up as well. Let's see what the damage was. $42. Ouch. All right, let's try and make that back. This is not the candle we want to be seeing to make that back. What's this thing? Can fuck off. Network disconnected. It's not what you want to see from an exchange. There we go. I think we're just out to stop loss hunt Christian today. That's a very nice thing to be doing. Thanks a lot. Bitcoin. We've got 5 minutes until we've got some trades coming in. We are currently overbought, so it's not a bit of a surprise that we're going to see some retracing. But if we could stay above these kind of like key points here, that would be nice. So they're just getting rejected straight down. I mean, I still can't believe this move here. God, that really just fills me with so much rage. Just comes down, just takes right, just classic stop loss hunting, you know, like right down there. Had a nice bit of like distance on there. You're not connected. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Go on, just pump up. Give me 30% back. I'll happily take that. And then we kind of rinse and repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's only 6. How did I get out of that with only $40? Oh, of course, because yeah, I see. Yeah, because I already took a hit on these two. They haven't closed yet, so they won't come up as a position closed because the position's not closed yet. So yeah, 60%. Ouch. Let's try and win that back. We don't want to exit today with that kind of amount down. We're going for the big 100 today. I'm not sure that's going to happen. There we go. We'll keep an eye on that. We will definitely not be taking an eye off the scalping side of things today until we start, unless we get a massive pump up, take out everything and pull in all the profit. Like I said, we really want to be, yeah. I mean, if we can get back up to like about 20% down, then that would be great. Can't remember the last time or why I'd have ever said that. Yeah, so here was the clay setup just on the right, just here. Like I said, we're going to keep quite a keen eye on the scalping side of things. So let's just move this over a little bit. We can still watch it nicely there. Cool. Okay, so we've got our we haven't got our 1 p.m. alerts in at the moment. The actual last alert, we didn't get any at 7 o'clock this morning. Although it's not the end of the world, because we could just look back a little bit further at the 1 a.m. alerts. Because there's a lot of breaking structures for, I mean, look how many happened. 1 a.m. we had 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to count them all, actually, it's loads. We had all these alerts come through at 1 o'clock. So I just scanned through what I thought was some of the best ones. Well, the best one. And for me, clay came up the best. Reason being is we had this little kind of ranging market structure going on, and it was apparent back here, as in we had 3 touches on it and then broke out, significant break. You see what kind of happens. Came back down, bounce, and then up again, double top, back down, and then straight back into this structure. So what my kind of thought process is pretty much this, but inverse, and we should probably smash on down quite hard. We broke it very comfortably. This is a confirmed breakout in my opinion. And yeah, that's what we're looking for realistically. We, not only that, we're trading on the underside of the 20 EMA just here. It's still, a legitimate trade to get into as well. Like, you don't have to worry too much. I think there's still going to be some decent, obviously there's going to be about, I'm targeting about 13.85% from entry. You could wait for the retrace for sure, which I do think is going to happen. I do think there's going to be a bit of a retrace going on, so you don't have to rush in. You can wait for the entry price that I've got there at 2036, or can aim for a better one. Although I'm pretty confident this is going down on its entirety. BTC is bouncing nicely there. We can take that. Might even jump in. If we break this upper resistance again, then we'll probably jump in for another long. And hope that this is kind of a turn in the trend somewhat. We're actually kind of breaking out. So if we are, then we can clear the board all in profit, do around about 40% on the wins, level the whole playing field to about, I think, 10-20% down. So all in all, it's a very exciting day, but realistically not achieved much. But that's the whole kind of point of trading. You don't get slapped and then just leave it and expect it to sort itself out. You do have to do something about it. Anyway, going back to clay, just whilst we kind of potentially look for a next setup on BTC, we got rejected from the daily exponential moving average, not once but twice. Broke down on this ranging market structure. Untested weekly pivot. I did put untested, but I kind of missed this little wick just here. If we just get a little bit closer, I did actually miss that this wick did come back and test it. But as you can see, that's at 1 a.m. on the Monday, so that is literally an hour into the weekly pivot. So I'm not sure if we can really include that, to be honest. So there is an untested weekly pivot there, and if you're watching any of my other videos before, then I will always tell you that untested weekly pivots have an extremely high chance of being tested again. So for that reason, we put our stop loss above it, and we've also got a trend line heading on down. and a exponential moving average. We've got a significant resistance here. And to top that off as well, that's the top of the range. So for me, that's a very, very safe place for the stop loss to be. You don't necessarily have to wait for it to go to like full take profit, as I always say. If providing you're within a nice, very, very close point to the take profit, you can close it there, and you don't have to wait till the bitter end at all, But don't try not to close it too early. If you're in like a tiny bit of profit and you want to close, that's a little bit impatient. That's a little bit panicky. But the other thing as well, we've broken lost a key support and also a key trend line on the CVD. For me, that's a big tell on us going down further on. Last thing on this one as well, why I do think there might be a bit of a retrace, not so much about the untested weekly pivot, but more about the oversold state on the CVD. So I think we might just head on back up a little bit. But everything right here is suggesting to me that we're going to see some further downward movement. Yeah, which I hope we don't see for Bitcoin. I hope we see some upward movement in the near term, at least 1%. That'd be nice. And then once we see that, we can tank on down again. So we should have some new signals coming in. Here we go. There we go, actually. Here's all the new signals have come in. Okay, when I say all of them, all three. Okay, so wow, look at that. We had a long initially on BCH, but the FUD took that out. And then it just bounced straight on up. I mean, that's ridiculous moves for Bitcoin Cash. I mean, Bitcoin Cash doesn't move 15.7%. So yeah, a bit annoying. I mean, had that FUD not have happened, then realistically would be about 5% up and, nearly at take profit. But it is what it is. It's a bit of a risky play, that one, to be honest, considering everything else is saying down. So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking at the moment. Come on, Bitcoin, get your shit together, head on up. So let's see what else we've got going on. So of course, we're already in clay, which is great news. Yeah, I wish, obviously I wasn't up at 1 a.m. Well, not obviously, but I wasn't up at 1 a.m. Had we been up at 1 a.m. and taken that signal, the clay trade would actually already be in about 4% profit. And the good thing is, like, our stop loss would have been much smaller. So that's we're 40% of our way into the trade, into the profit, which would have been good. So at the moment, we're kind of we've got a long and a short opportunity to analyze in both Atom and Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash. Meanwhile, we're just going to keep an eye on what Bitcoin is doing. 3 p.m. today, we do actually have some news. So on the Crypto Craft calendar, Tuesday, May the 2nd, not May the 2nd, that's last week. Let's try and get with the, James, we don't actually have any news. We've got the UK Crypto and Digital Assets Summit today. And the CH trade balance, which is just completely nothing. So that won't affect anything. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. At 1:30 p.m., we've got the CPI month on month and year on year, and core CPI. So these three in the middle, the big red up arrows, they mean that it is a big deal. So again, just be very wary trading into that with kind of very small target trades. To give us a bit of a perspective on it, actual less than forecast is good for crypto. So forecast is 0.4% with the month on month, and the year is 5%. And same again, actual less than forecast is good for crypto. So fingers crossed that we come in less than the forecast and it does pump on the whole. That'd be quite nice, albeit, we do actually have quite a few shorts open. But I am a bull, through and through kind of thing. I do like the market going up. Brings a lot of people back into the space, a lot of enthusiasm. Assets start kind of being released again, and the upgrades start being released again, and yeah, a lot of vibrancy back into the market. So as a whole, it's a really good thing when Bitcoin's pumping, but it also means wider things, bigger things are happening as well. More adoption of crypto and stuff like that, which is what we want. We want to see that. Yeah, so No big news today, unfortunately, but also fortunately as well because I don't think we need any more volatility with all these trades open at the moment on my scalps. But yeah, let's take a little look at both Atom and also BCH. We'll start off with Atom and how I would approach these kind of trades. First of all, I generally try to get a bit of a grasp on what the trend lines are saying. And then this immediately gives me a bit of an idea of what market structure we're currently playing with. You can usually see these pretty quickly by eye. And again, I always use these parallel channels because they give you a bit of a bigger bandwidth to play with. You absolutely can, use. So here's a very significant trend line that was broken. You can use the actual trend lines, but they're, like I said, I quite like to use these ones because it gives us a bit of a bigger bandwidth to play with, to capture other peaks that we might not necessarily see. But then also at the same time, you don't want to be too over generous with them because then it can lead to a little bit of false hope. Although I think the peaks from here have kind of been, we can forget about those for the time being. It's more of these near-term ones. It's a very significant one. Unfortunately, the indicator does a great job of actually already drawing them on there. But for the sake of this, let's get these on here. Now, this is an interesting one. It's a bit of a 50-50 trade, I think, to be honest, going in on this one. Because what we're looking at the moment is no real clear defined direction. We're currently sat directly on support, which is not often the best place to take a trade. So, we could end up seeing this, and then we don't really know if we're going to break out of here and head on up, or if we're going to lose the support. I mean, we could even lose the support on this current test for sure. So we might not even head back up, and it could be an awesome opportunity for a short, which is what we're getting signified at now. So there's our short, but as you can see, so that would have been an excellent short. Even that one would have been a great short. I'm just a bit conscious of going in on a trade like that. Although it doesn't really, very rarely gives dud signals on the... my only concern is, like I said, taking a trade on the support line. We can risk it, for sure. But I'm not so sure. Well, let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. This is a little bit of unusual movement, to be quite honest. We can pretty much... I think that's been pretty much invalidated there. Now, one good thing here is, once it's not bang on, I mean, there's a very good argument for a double bottom there. Like I said, whilst it's not exact, it's pretty bloody close. It bounced like hell from there. And then straight to the 50 daily exponential moving average, and also pretty much filled this not entirely filled weekly pivot, which is interesting. And there we are again. I mean, this is kind of a real quintessential example of the untested weekly pivot getting filled, smashed through the 20 daily exponential moving average. We do have a long, that would have been potentially quite a nice little bearish trade. All these would have been winners. These wouldn't have been done so well. There is a lot of support there. Where does 13% take me up? It takes me below that. So what I'm doing at the moment is kind of trying to figure out what the future range is, where like the real kind of key resistances are going to come into, or the next key resistance is. Obviously, we're currently sat on one right now in the 50 daily exponential moving average. Not the strongest in the world, but certainly one that you should pay attention to. And then, yeah, we've broken through these. I suppose we're just hesitant, like... Don't want to be on this one. There we go. Let's get back. Let's go have a little look at Bitcoin, how that's doing quick. So we're not, well, hello. So we're not slamming down, which is good news. Get a nice little bit of buy pressure coming in. And picked up a bit of support down here. These are etched into my mind at the moment. These two stop losses. Can't win them all. Keep on telling yourself that. But you can. It is possible. Yeah, don't let them get you down. Right now, we are looking at what is going to happen with Bitcoin Cash. Clearly some quite exciting moves that's happened there. I've obviously totally missed. So I want to go back to Bitcoin here because there is actually quite significant resistance if we break out of this one here. If we break out of this resistance just on this peak, then that'll be pretty great news. We broke out of this, the most recent one here, which would look like we're kind of holding, and we're pulled back and we're bouncing, which would be great. Another significant one there. And realistically, it's not a huge amount out, so there's no reason it shouldn't continue up. It's looking pretty good, to be honest. We'll see where that takes us. I know where I want it to take us. Back to Bitcoin Cash. Are you out of steam yet? Is the question, because that is one hell of a V-shaped recovery. And when you look at it, it certainly can move. This is quite an interesting range as well. We bounced. Oh, there we go. Some real exciting movement coming in. Is that the US coming online, maybe? My general experience with the US is it's quite bearish, to be honest. I don't often see the US coming online and it pumping. So it'd be nice if you could prove me wrong today. That'd be great. So head on, shoot on up. Yeah, it's nice as well I think to be coming online and there not to be any crazy news, Fed news and stuff like that. I think I am actually going to take this long on Bitcoin Cash. I'm not convinced at the Atom trade, to be honest, because we're right on support. And I'm pretty sure I'll get another signal coming up. Should we lower it down a little bit? Oh, it is going. I think we might even get another long opportunity coming up. Quite obvious. Quite an obvious support there, where we bounced. That's what we're looking at. We pulled back to and took off. So we've broken out nicely of this next resistance. trying to give myself a little bit more distance this time around. So that wick fucked me off a lot. So I do think if we push up slightly more, we're going to break this resistance, and I think that is going to be another signal coming up. We're pushing up nicely. $27, so we are getting ourselves back into a little bit of a better place. Yeah, there's our signal. Little bulls just popped up. Not quite on this candle yet, though. I'm going to retrace. If we retrace, not the end of the world. I'm still quite bullish on this now. Excuse me. 0.62, so that's about 1,667. Get this trade set up. So we're going to go with the 0.6% stop loss here. I do wish this would stop telling me that I'm not connected. Really doesn't fill me with much confidence, MEXC. But your fees, I am willing to overlook all of your failings in that respect because your fees are just incredible. So yeah, some sort of like gold digger, I guess. Retracing, it's not a surprise we're retracing, but we are making some solid pushes. I mean, it starts to look a bit nicer now in regards to an actual direction being confirmed. Got 1 minute 19 till candle close. We're still technically in a signal, bullish signal. I'm feeling a hard rejection at the moment. Again, we are very much in the US coming online, so volatility not terribly surprising. I mean, usually when we start to at like 1:30 with the US coming online and there being news as well, that's like a double whammy because it's just mass panic. But we don't particularly want to see it losing these supports. Come back and retest them for sure. The signal's disappeared now. Unless it comes back in the next 23 seconds, we won't be entering this trade. That's such a shame when it kind of pumps straight up and then it gets hit with this rejection. This is quite new though, this error that seems to be coming in. Right, well, I'm glad I didn't enter up there, that's for sure. That's why it's always good as well to wait until you get the full confirmation of the signal, just in case something like that happens. We were, what, like 45 seconds off? Less than a minute off? Hey, Extreme Andy, I just saw your comment. I'm so bad at checking the chat here. Yeah, long time. But regards to the Binance funds, safe as fuck. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, for sure. I think it's just what will come under the most scrutiny right now is what was the cause of that? What was the reason behind having to move that amount of money, even if it's internally? Is it to cover? Oh god, it is dumping down now. Is it to cover? Do they have 100% complete proof of reserves kind of thing, which was obviously such a big thing, or do they not? You know, I guess that's the big thing that's coming under more scrutiny at the moment. But as far as kind of like that massive outflow goes, I mean, that was just not miscommunication, but misunderstood, I think, by a lot of people. Like I said, it happens a lot. Happens a lot with people reacting so quickly to big moves from wallet to wallet that it causes widespread panic. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, honestly, dude, you know, it's by now you should totally not be having all of your money in on one exchange. If FTX has taught you anything, that nowhere is safe. You know, that was the second biggest exchange outgoing, and just run by idiots, you know, corrupt idiots. So it can happen. I'm not saying CZ, sorry, is the CZ, whatever you want, is the same, but I am saying that everywhere, every exchange does have its risks. So this is what we want to see. That's a really, really nice reversal candle coming up. Come on, hold it, hold this line, hold the line, and then we can head right on back up. Guess I didn't get my signal though. So it'd be a bit of time before we come back up. So we have gone overboard. The one thing I don't like that I'm just seeing actually is this bearish divergence. That's never a good thing up there. Obviously, we are wanting to be bullish on Bitcoin right now. We have just seen a bearish divergence. It is on a very small time frame though. But the flip side to that is we have broken out some local resistances and looking pretty good, to be honest. That's the kind of candles I want to see. When we come down and we just meet that support, and hopefully we'll head on back up. Like I said, we're looking to certainly shave the losses that we got whacked on. Whack-a-mole, on which is, yeah, like I said, I've had worse. Not necessarily on live stream, but definitely had worse. And what's annoying is we were just in the middle of setting up our BT trade. Although that's quite good. It's retraced a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Let's keep one eye on Bitcoin over there. What's going on? I want to see if another signal comes up. And then we are going to, still looking at Bitcoin Cash. I would prefer the take profit to be coming underneath that support. I mean, raise that a little bit, and I would also prefer for MEXC to sort its shit out. That'd be good. So yeah, I mean, it's not quite 1-to-1, but like I said, I would very much like to be taking profit before this very, very obvious. It's not only this resistance, but it's also this one as well. So I kind of want to be taking profit a little bit lower than that. And this is something that you definitely can do with the indicator. Like I said, you know, as a rule of thumb, it's a 1-to-1 risk reward. We generally have around about a 60 to 70% win rate. So today not included, or the past few trades not included. But we generally have a 60 to 70% win rate. So obviously, you know, it's not hard to figure that out, is it? You know, if you're taking 60 to 70% win rate and you've got a 1-to-1 risk reward, things are pretty groovy. And what I do like about that as well is, if by all means you can increase the risk reward, but you have to understand that the win rate will come down, and it's not the end of the world. It can still be profitable. Although I don't know, I've never been a fan of lower win rates, because I just find more often than not you're on the wrong end of the stick, because it's based on you trading really consistently, really consistently, taking as many trades as you possibly can in order to make sure that you don't miss out on those absolute gold mines. Because if you do, I mean, you can very well, with low win rates, like I'm talking 30-40% win rates, you can end up going, yeah, like weeks without hitting, because you can just be the unfortunate side of the stick where you're entering all the trades that are just not hitting. I know it sounds a little bit obvious, but yeah, it's just something to be conscious of. Like, sure, go with lower win rates, but it's best to go with lower win rates when you're on higher time frames, fewer signals, and just basically means that you can enter as many, if not all of them, as possible. And then what your strategy will then start to kind of abide by what it is statistically. But whereas, like, say if you've got a high win rate and you're trading like this, for instance, high win rate, in my opinion, is 60%. And yeah, that 60% is a great win rate. You can have 90, 95% win rates, but then your risk reward is like 0.1 or something like that, which is, yeah, again, really successful strategies like that. But it depends what your trading style's like, your frequency of trading, your consistency is like. But yeah, we're kind of waiting for Bitcoin to do its thing. I've got a feeling, I'm hoping it will break out. If it does, amazing. A nice little retrace on Bitcoin Cash. Very little, but enough to give us what we want. 0.95, happy with that. Let's bang out our Bitcoin Cash trade. BCH. I used to hate trading Bitcoin Cash because I just found that it always used to be so bad on automated strategies. But a lot of the automated strategies I was testing were DCA based, and Bitcoin Cash just didn't have any volatility. I barely moved at all. So it made for DCA strategies like quite boring. Okay, so we've just put out the Bitcoin Cash trade. Waiting to see what BTC does. Certainly challenging quite nicely. Said I'm not the biggest fan of that bearish divergence. If we could blast through that, that'd be great. We haven't gone oversold, so that doesn't constitute. Usually what I look for is if this was oversold, for instance, even then it's not actually broken the structure. It's breaking it now. But if this was oversold and that was breaking it, then that for me would be kind of a shorter signal, a short signal even. It's a bit misleading having that there. Interesting to see what's going to happen now. Hopefully we've not got a little mini head and shoulders going on. That would suck. So head and shoulders is one of the more powerful patterns going. So I'd trade, if you're wondering what I trade or how I trade, then generally it is all kind of market structure, all market structure. Don't tend to look at candles too much. Like, I think candles are a bit misleading at the best times. Like if we look at this candle down here, granted we're on the 3 minute, so let's jump to the 6 hour. So candles can be a little bit misleading in a way. The best thing to do is not to, like, if you're on a higher time frame like 6 hour, don't look at a 6 hour candle, and if it's you know, a doji candle or yeah, you know what I mean. Like there's a whole ton of them. Just TradingView has actually got a really good candle indicator. Let's see if we can find it. I'm trying here. Ooh. There we go. So this is the official one. TradingView technicals, all candlestick patterns. Let's just pull this off for a second. So you got like obviously you have to learn what the different labels are, like bullish engulfing, doji. These are some of my favorite ones, like hammers, Bannon baby. And what you can do is, like, as you can see, this is why I didn't bother like starting to reel off the names of any of them, because there's there's just tons. There's some which are bullshit, some which are pretty good. See if we can find out. It's like Hanging Man's good. I don't know why I haven't got that going on, but these are the ones that I do have, which I think are quite good, to be honest. But they've got to be used in context. You know, they've got to be used with support, resistance, reversals, oversold, overbought, divergences, really to have any meaning to them whatsoever. I think 3-line strikes are one of my preferred ones, which are very, very similar to order blocks. See if I can find a quick example. 3-line strike. And they're basically, in a nutshell, a 3-line strike is a lower open than lower opens than the previous 2 candles, and they're quite obvious. It's very, like I said, very, very similar to order blocks when you see them. This isn't exactly one, but I feel like we'll be scrolling for ages looking for one. I don't want to find one now. So technically, no, not quite. So you see this candle here. So as these 3 candles go up, if this candle had exceeded this candle here, come down a little bit further, then that would have been one. So that's quite a good indication of actually a reversal. I think it's the guy Moving Average. He's got a big YouTube channel. He's a big fan of it. Big engulfing candles, and specifically this pattern as well. He operates with using it exclusively on like moving averages as the support and resistance. So, you know, clearly he's doing something right. I think he's he's a little bit more Forex than crypto. From what I can tell on the videos, I haven't honestly seen enough or really many to kind of remark on it. Got me looking now for these 3-line strikes, which I'm determined to find. I think I might even have an indicator actually, so that this is an example of one. There you go. Whoop. So just here. Let me just move that one, this one. So you see how these 3 candles come down consecutively. You even get like almost like a doji style candle there, and then this candle exceeds the previous 3, and you see quite a nice reversal. So that's a really good example of one, and it working. And what you'd do here is you'd look for a little bit of confluence that might be going on, whether it's a divergence or maybe it's off like kind of a moving average, something to help back it up a little bit. But you are playing with there is a bit of a distinct uptrend. And there's no significant kind of divergence there. So yeah, it's up to you how you do it. But candle patterns are pretty good to know, but don't base your entire trading strategy on just candles. As like I said, they can be quite misleading. If you're on higher time frames, then there is no reason why you shouldn't be looking at lower time frames to see what's going on inside them. But yeah, I mean, there's a million and one different strategies. We all know this. It just kind of depends what works for you. If you're doing it really fast trading, then it's got to work for you, and you've got to be able to figure it out and see it quickly. Otherwise, if you have to do a whole bunch of analysis and lines, and you're on the 3 minutes, then it can prove to be a bit tricky. So there we have. We're out on a Bitcoin Cash long. If we'd have waited a little bit, we could have got a slightly better entry, but not a huge amount. I'm not too worried about that. 0.5%. I think we can survive that. Like I said, I'm more kind of interested right now in seeing Bitcoin gather a bit of momentum and bounce here basically and head on up, which I think is very possible. Currently 15% up, although on the whole around about 50% down. So we really need to be pulling out some pretty awesome trades. Oh, we do. Oh no, that's on. Damn it! I got really excited then. It's like, that's Bitcoin Cash, which one we've just been looking at. So yeah, we need to watch out a little bit for this very small time frame, head and shoulders. And we didn't get in on this trade. Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we did get in on that trade. I just haven't labeled it. So this is kind of quite a good thing to get in the habit of doing because since exchanges like MEXC, they don't separate your trades. You can't actually like see, it will just basically put one average buy price. So outside of where your stop losses and take profits are, you can't really see how many trades that you're in if you were just coming into this fresh. So yeah, so it is good to keep track of everything on the chart. This will easily be the most trades I've done in one day for a very long time. It's a very kind of very intense day for trading. I like it when there's only like one, 5 or 6 at most, and then you can just take your time a little bit. But this will happen when we're in these kind of like undefined directions, and we're waiting for it, which I'm hoping is coming to an end now, and I'm hoping that we are breaking out of this little pattern. This is kind of like probably the last local resistance right here to get out of this little range, which would be great. Hoping we don't fall back into it. That would just be a bit miserable, but we'll see where we go from here. All looking good. But we don't really have a great deal of other news on today, so we're going to see how this trade plays out. I'll update everyone with the end of day in the channels and on Twitter if you want to follow along. Of course, as always, if you've got any questions, then hit us up either via email or drop us a message on Telegram at bptadmin. If you want to get hold of the indicator, then you can find it at our website on blockpartytrading.com. And there aren't really too many places on the website you can go where you don't see somewhere where you can sign up, and then you can find it all here. Oops, indicators, there you go. And of course we do have we're not too far off labs, which is so exciting. It's going to be all of our indicators, all of our library being made available. We're just doing a whole revamp on it to make them as user-friendly as possible, whilst not taking away any of the real exciting ones. And yeah, you can find all the guide for it on here. Obviously, you get a 7-day free trial with it all, so you can jump into it, try it for 7 days. You can go on TradingView and use the paper trading. Completely free, risk-free, which is great, and you can see if it suits you. Works for me best on the 3-minute and 6-hour. I'm not saying that's exclusively where it works best. I use it, as you can see, literally like this. I'll set alerts for all of the futures assets on whatever exchange I'm on. I actually trade on MEXC, but I've got them set up on BitGet just because I haven't updated them yet, but it doesn't really matter when it's 6 hours. I'll basically track all of those on the 6-hour time frame, but at the moment I'm only trading on the 3-minute on Bitcoin. Works really well on Ethereum. I've had amazing success on other assets as well, but give it a little whirl. Like I said, it's all free to try, 7 days, and you can really make your decision from there, to be honest. But it does make amazing money. That's the thing. As of, well, up until today, we're about 75% up after about 15 days, maybe 20 days, don't remember. about 15 days, I think. And yeah, we come out today. I think we'll be about hopefully around about 10-20% down if these trades come in, which yeah, that for me comes out a bit of a win with today's like volatility and where it's at. I'm pretty happy with that. But we might trade into the evening and see if we can pull back even more. And if we start tomorrow with a break even, then I'll chalk that as a massive win. Last thing on this one, we do have a bit of a untested weekly pivot on Bitcoin Cash, so maybe that should shoot on up. Anyway, guys, of course, well, thank you very much for watching. You know where to find us. We'll be back live streaming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, unless anything comes up. We'll generally be jumping on around about 12:30 UTC +1, and live streaming to about 1:32 p.m. Most days. A little bit longer if there's some Fed news coming out, or we've got significant news in the market, or I've had an amazing day scalping and I need to talk about that a lot. Anyway, guys, thank you very, very